Hello. So for this class, you would need a staff paper and you actually have to turn it in. So that will be your homework 21. So for homework 21, you're going to actually answer the questions during this lecture and do the things that I'm asking you to do. So that'll be your homework 21. So please prepare a separate sheet of paper, a staff paper with you. Okay, so I realized that we need a lot of more practice with minor scale. So we're going to sing minor scale. Now that we know about triads, I am going to accompany you that will help you sing. And so let's start. Let's sing natural minor. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Let's sing melodic minor. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Let's sing the melodic minor descending. Do, te, le, sol, fa, mi, re, do. If you're not very confident with the melodic minor, please pause and rewind and listen to it many times because you really want to build your skill. Let's do melodic minor in this tonic, which is A minor. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, te, le, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Make sure that you know do, te, le, sol, do, te, sol, re, le, sol. Make sure that you know that. Let's do in this tonic. Melodic minor with a G minor. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, te, le, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Now let's do do, me, sol. Do, me, sol. Let's do fa, le, do, which is a 4-chord. Fa, le, do. Let's do sol, ti, re. Sol, ti, re. Let's do do. Do. Okay, so for our next thing I want you to do is I want you to all get very used to discerning major third or minor third, because that is the most basic thing in order to build a triad. So let's do some practice, okay? So you can write down on your paper, what's the first one? C to E, major third, right? Okay, so write down C to E and write down big M3. That was correct. Okay, what about D to F? D, E is a whole step, but E to F is a half step. So that will be a minor third. Okay. So please draw this in with the treble clef. Okay. You only have to draw the things that I'm talking about. Okay, not this entire page. What about the E to G? You may pause before I say the answer so you know that you're doing well. E to F is a half step. F to G is a whole step. So it's a minor third. Okay. You need a 2 whole step in order to be a major third. F to G is a whole step. G to A is a whole step. So that's a major third. Okay. Now let's go and see if you can draw it yourself. Give yourself an E flat. Draw my major third above. E flat whole step is a F. F to whole step is a G. So E flat G. Right? Draw 2 whole step from A in order to make a major third. A whole step is a B. B whole step is a C sharp. Draw 2 whole step from C sharp. So C sharp to D sharp to E sharp. So do not do F because visually, numerically, it has to look like a third. C sharp, E sharp, okay? Don't do the next one. We're gonna go all the way down and do the E sharp, okay? E sharp whole step is F double sharp. F double sharp whole step is a G double sharp. So the answer is G double sharp. And double sharp looks like this, like an X. Okay. Now you might wonder, what is that? I have no idea what that is. Okay. So this means E is a sharp, okay, which will sound like a F. G is a double sharp, which will sound like a A. Okay. But if you both, and you can also check this interval by thinking, oh, since they both have a sharp, and this have sharp plus another sharp, let's think about bringing it down both, like canceling out. So this will be exactly same interval as if I put the E sharp to half step down as an E and G double sharp as half step down to a G, just regular sharp. Now E to G sharp is a major third. So if you are bringing that same interval up a half and be this, you know that this is major third too. Okay. So make sure that you really practice doing the major third. So actually, let's do more third practice. If I give you a C, you give me a whole step up in order to make a major third. Remember, major third is whole step. So I want you to say the name, letter names, okay? If I give you a C, respond in C, D, E. So I'll show you the hands. C, D, E. If I give you the A flat, B flat, C. If I give you F sharp, G sharp, A sharp. If I give you the E flat, F, G. Now give me minor third. Minor third is when you have a whole step, half step, right? Okay, so if I give you a F sharp, whole step, half step, so F sharp, G sharp, A, right? If I give you E, F sharp, G, right? We're doing minor third. If I give you B flat, C, D flat. If I give you F, G, flat. So do this practice with your own keyboard. Remember, if you have, for example, C sharp and you are doing a major third, C sharp, D sharp, E sharp. Remember, I'm calling E sharp, not F, because this is C sharp to E sharp is a third. It has to visually look like 1, 2, 3. That is why. Okay, so now building on that thirds, we can make triads. This is the C, major third above, and minor third above. If I do this overall, my root and the fifth all together is a perfect fifth. And this sound is do, mi, so, which is same as do, mi, so sound, is a major triad. Triad is when you build on a third, stack of thirds. 3 notes, the stack of thirds. And depending on the quality, if the root to the third, this is called third, root to the third is a major, and third to the fifth is a minor, so overall you create a perfect fifth, then that is a major triad. Major triad is easy to build because if you use the notes that is within the major scale, that will be a major triad. So for example, building a D major triad, my scale of D major is so major third, minor third, which is all the notes. D, F sharp, A is the note in D major. That'll be a major triad. If I do A flat, my A flat scale has, those are the in the key signature, right? So if I do skip one note, that's a third. Skip note and one note, and then this is a third. Major third, minor third. That will be a major triad. Now, always when you're building a triad, build from the major triad. Let's say if you're doing E major triad, that will be your E major scale. Skip one note and build a third. Skip one note and build a third. Major third, minor third, perfect fifth. So this is my major triad. Starting from major triad, lower the third. Remember the middle note is called third. Minor. And you realize, oh, that is same as any minor. My E minor scale had the me, right? So it sounds exactly like do, mi, so, right? Okay. Now from this, you squeeze even more, and it's a little bit ominous, right? That is diminished chord. Remember, from minor, you lower the fifth and becomes a diminished chord. Okay. Now let's go back to major. Major third, minor third. This is the major chord, okay? If you raise your fifth, which is not a C, but you have to call it B sharp, right? Okay? This is interesting because E to G sharp is a major third. G sharp to B sharp is a major third. You have 2 major thirds stacked, and it'll sound like this. This is, again, very scary. It's augmented fifth. Okay, hello. I'm glad to... Okay, so for now, in the context of C major, in a major, how are these chords used in music? So in order to figure it out, we have to know what will happen if we look at the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the C major scale. Any kind of major scale will have this, okay? Let's build triad on each note, okay? So this is scale degree 1, which is a do, which is tonic. So let's build a tonic triad. And by building it, that means you're using the scale notes and just skipping one notes to go to a third. So your scale is C, G, you build a triad, tonic triad, supertonic triad, mediant triad, and so on. Okay, and the name of these triads, you can of course call it C, D, E, F. You can use those names, but now we want to, since this is within context, we want to give them context. So that's where Roman numerals comes in. So when you do a Roman numeral analysis, you write C major at the beginning, like this, to tell you that I'm going to now think about these chords in context of C major, what they do. The reason that we do it is because once they're in context, if we just know that this is a C major, okay, that's a C major chord. That's nothing. That doesn't tell us much. But once we know that this is a C, we are in C major, and this is 1, that means, oh, that's a C major tonic. That's a C major tonic. We're going to end in that chord. This is a C major 5. C major 5, it is very dominant. It wants to do a lot of things, but it eventually wants to go to tonic. This is a subdominant. This is a supertonic. Supertonic wants to go to dominant. Dominant, and dominant wants to go to tonic. So they each have a function. So that is very, very important. So this Roman numeral tells us where it belongs. In terms of C major, you are number 1, you're very important. In terms of C major, you're 5, you're number 5, you're dominant, you're important, but you are not the home, you want to go to 1. So it tells you each character. That's why if you are playing a guitar, probably you're used to guitar chords. It doesn't tell you anything about the function, okay? But that is easier if you just say E, F, D minor, then that's just easier for you. But you have to think about your own function yourself. But this tells you both what the chord is and what the character is by giving you a lowercase for the minor, uppercase for the major, okay? So this is 1 and minor 2, minor 3. It's a major chord, so you use a big 4 major chord, so, and then you use a small 6 here, 5, small 6, and this one I told you that this is a diminished. If you think about it, minor 3rd, B to F is a diminished 5th, and for diminished you use these little circle. Sorry, these little circle at the end. That looks like this. Just gonna borrow this. And then this is same as 1. So you're going back to 1. Okay. So once you understand, oh, it is D, F, A minor chord. And since C major, it's built on the second scale degree, it is called minor 2. Once you understand this, memorize this, okay? So in your paper, the next thing I want you to write down is this Roman numeral. Major in Roman numeral, write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. This all in the Roman numeral. Okay? So write that down. Okay. Now I want you to build stack major triads in the scale of G major. Let's do it yourself. In your own paper, write it on G major. Write it on G major. Okay, so if you drew it already, maybe you want to pause this recording because I'm going to give you the answer right away. Okay, so if you are doing a G major, so write down the key signature 1 sharp, right? Okay, starting from G. G, build the 3rd, A, stack it, B, stack it. So you can do this, okay? The chord that you build on G chord, that'll be a 1. In any major, the first chord will be a big 1, 2, small 2, 3, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, diminished, because F sharp, remember that's F sharp, A, C, diminished 7, and then 1 again, okay? So that will be your answer, okay? So it should be, in your paper so far, you should have those thirds that we did at the beginning. You should have all the Roman numerals of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now you should have this, exactly this, also Roman numeral written underneath. And I forgot to do this, but make sure you do it. Always write down what key you are in, because the Roman numeral doesn't mean anything. It has to say G major 1. If you just say this is a 1 chord, then I would say, what key are you in? Because it depends on where the 1 is. Okay, so just like do, re, mi, fa, sol, which do are you talking about, right? Okay, so now we got this. Now I want to practice more. Now, since 1, 4, 5, in any kind of tonal music, 1, 4, 5 is the most important thing, because music goes, G major, tonic, subdominant, that was to go to dominant, I go back to tonic. And if you actually use 1, 4, 5, 1, then you can make a very basic song. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. So if someone sings something and you just try to accompany by 1, 4, 5, 1, it's going to work. It gives you a function, because this is the function of starting or ending. 4 chord is something that you want to go to dominant, and dominant is very active and has more tension because it has the leading tone note. But then it wants to go to tonic. And at the end, when you have dominant, tonic, that's also called cadence, which means it's the ending of a phrase or ending of a piece. And then 5, 1, if the chord goes 5, 1, that is called authentic cadence, which gives you the strongest closure. Okay? So many songs will end in 5, 1. Of course, the songs that will try to sometimes avoid it by doing something else, but eventually they'll end in 5, 1. Okay, so that's how important 1, 4, 5, 1 is, especially 5, 1 is, and then 4, 5, 1 is also. So I want to practice. Okay, if I give you this key and say, this is the major key, consider this as a major key, write 1, 4, 5 in this key. Okay, and also if you can actually practice that in the keyboard and get used to 1, 4, 5, 1 in different keys, that'll be very useful. Okay, so pause here if you don't want to see the answer right away. Okay, so this is 1 flat, so this is F major. So 1 chord will be F, A, C. Right? That's easy. Now 4, what you're going to do with the 4 is you go from 1, 2, 3, 4. Your fourth note, do, re, mi, fa, subdominant note will be a B flat, right? So starting from B flat, D, F, you just do that, okay? And your 5 chord will be starting from, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 chord will be built on C. So it's very simple, right? Once you know that you're in F major, build the chord on 1, scale degree 1, go 4, and then build the triad, go 5, build the triad. You don't have to do any accidentals because there's also already an accidental at the beginning, right? Okay, so now let's do this should be written in your paper, okay, for homework 21. Okay, and that is overall the paper on top of the paper, you can write homework 21. Okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, now what about if you have two flats? You can stop here if you don't want to get the answer right away. So if you have two flat, 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 look at the second to the last flat, that is the key, so this is a B flat. So your one chord will be built on B flat. So B flat, D, F. By the way, using quarter note, whole note will be fine. You don't have to do half note, quarter note like this. The rhythm is not the point here, okay? So that is built on B flat. Now your 4 is what? B flat, C, D, E flat. So built on E flat, it'll be E flat, G, B flat, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a F. So you build on F, C, right? So that'll be our 1 chord, 4, 5. And remember, these are all major chords. Now let's do 4 sharps. And you stop here if you want to not see the answer right away. Now 4 sharps, look at the last sharp, go one step up. That's the key. This is an E major. So this is an E chord. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, that's your 4. So A chord. And then B chord is your 5th. So and so on. So this is how you build the chord, right? This is how you build the chord. And say this is that 1, 4, 5. And you can do it with any other chords. Now you know the key. And of course, I should have written down the key. E, B flat, F. I should have written down the key always. Okay. So this is very important. This is how you get used to the Roman numeral. Okay. Now let's look at some melody. What happens in the melody? Does the melody suggest the key? Many, many times they do. Okay, so in the melody, what happens? Let's say I have a melody like this. Here to here. Look at the key signature, 2 flats. Okay, 2 flats. Look at the second to the last flat, that will be the key, B flat, oh, but it goes third below the B flat. It also has an F sharp, so this is a G minor. It tells you it's G minor. Let's look at the melody. It's G, B flat, D, B flat. So this is suggesting, if you stack them together, it is suggesting a chord. And a lot of times, melody will have triadic leaps. That means they leap in thirds, and if you stack them together, it will usually be some kind of a chord, some kind of triad. So if you think about it, oh, that's a G minor triad. If you stack these, oh, that's a C minor, C, E flat, G, C minor triad. If you stack these, it'll be D, F sharp, A. Oh, that's a D triad. Okay, so let's go back to our minor. Minor. In minor, what we have is a 1 is a minor 1, diminished 2, augmented 3, minor 4, major. So 5 is a major in either major scale or minor scale. 5 is a major. I told you to memorize that, right? 6 is a major, which is very interesting. And diminished, 7 is a diminished, either in major scale or minor scale. 7 is always diminished. And 1 is a small one. Okay, I don't know why this is wrong. The last one should be a small one, right? That's right, okay? So that is our minor. So based on that, we are going to analyze that, okay? So since this is a G minor, G minor 1 is a minor 1, G minor, C minor. So if it's a C minor chord, I'm in G minor, and if the chord is a C minor, G, A, B, C, you have to go 4 up. You're built on scale degree 4, so C, And then if you're built on D, which is the fifth note, G, A, B, C, G, A, B, C, D, fifth note, it's a 5 chord, and 1. So now G minor, you're in G minor and G, and this chord is G minor, so that's 1. You're in G minor, and this chord is a C minor, G, A, B, C. It's a 4, but it's a minor, so you write a small 4. You're in G minor, G, A, B, D, G, A, B, C, D, and this is a 5, you write 5, but it's a big 5 because it's a major chord. And then 1. Now let's sing this, which is very important, okay? Sing with me. Do, do, me, so, me, fa, le, do, le, so, ti, re, ti, do. If you're having a hard time, let me harmonize it for you. It'll be easier for you to sing. Do, me, so, me, fa, le, do, le, so, ti, re, ti, do. Okay. Try to do it many times. Repeat. Stop this recording and repeat it many times. Okay, so let's look at other melodies too. So before we go to the melody, let's review our Roman numerals for major. Major is major 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, diminished 7. For minor scale, any kind of minor scale, you'll have small 1 and diminished 2. Sorry. So diminished 2. Small 2 plus a little circle is diminished 2, and you have augmented 3, and then you have 4, major 5, major 6, and then diminished 7. That will be it, okay? Now, if you are using natural minor, this will change accordingly, okay? And when we encounter that, we're going to talk about that here. Okay, so let's look at this melody and see how this melody is built on what kind of triad. So this is 3 flats. So you think this is an E flat major, but E flat, D, C, this is a bass clef. So it ends in C. Third below, C minor. And B natural, so it's a harmonic minor, so it confirms that this is a C minor. So this is a do, okay? So let's see do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi. Scale degree 1, 5, 3, okay? So you stack them together and you realize, oh, this is 1, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5. If you stack them together, you will realize, oh, it's built on the 1 chord, okay? So you're gonna write down, this is C minor 1 chord. We're gonna skip this, we're gonna talk about this later. Let's go to measure 3. You just stack them together, okay? So although this happened first, just stack them together and see, write that all in one place, and you realize, G, I have a G and a B natural and D. So I'm a C minor, and I have a G chord. C, D, E, F, G, C minor and G chord. 5, fifth note. So that's a 5. And remember, in minor, you have a big 5. Because look at the sound. Listen to it. It's a major sound, right? So big 5, 5. So this is 1. Again, most of the songs that we're going to do is built on 1, 5, 1. Okay, so now that will give us some, that'll make it easy for us to sing. Let's do the key prep first. Do, me, so, do, sorry, okay. There are different kind of key prep. For minor, let's do this. Do, me, so, me, do, ti, do. Now let's go back and do this. You might want to pause and try it yourself and then match with me. Okay. 1, ready, go. do, so, me, do, so, ti, re, do. So do, so, me. If I'm used to do, me, so, me, do, then you can also sing do, so, me, do. Okay, here, so, ti, re, so, ti, re. If you're doing so, ti, re, then you can do ti, so, ti, re, do. Let's do one more time in different do. Let's do the key fret first. Key fret first. Do, me, so, me, do, ti, do. Do, so, me, do, so, ti, re, do. Okay, so that will be it. Okay, so let's look at some other melodies too. Again, this is one flat. Let's do sight singing. So you expect to be F, F, E, D, third below, and you even have a C sharp, so this is D minor. So the first syllable is a do, right? Okay, so let's look at a couple of things. Do, me, so. Oh, tonic triad, okay? And let's go to the next one. Do, me, so, me. So this is a re, fa, le. So that is, again, if you see the third, you can suspect that, oh, is this a triad? Yes. E, G, B flat is in D minor built on the second note, so it's a 2 diminished triad. And then you see a large leap. But if you look at the very bottom note, an A, C sharp, E, A. So this is basically just repeating the first note and the bottom note. This is both A. So this is A, C sharp, E. And this is just a repetition. So you can just ignore it when you ask yourself what kind of triad it is. It's A, C sharp, E, A triad. D minor, A is D, E, F, G, A, 5. So dominant triad, and it's going back to do. Okay, so this kind of structure makes it easier for you to sing. Okay, maybe not now, but believe me. Okay, so we're gonna pick a do that is like, yeah, maybe I'll pick a do. Do. Let's do the key prep first. Do, me, so, me, do, ti, do. Do, me, so, me, re, fa, le, so, re, ti, so, do. Sorry, I even lingered, okay? So do, me, so, that's so. This is a do, this is a re, so, re, ti, so, do. So now you try. I'll just give you the beat and the accompaniment. You notice that it's easier to sing, and that's why many singers, they would need the accompaniment. Okay, let's do it one more time with a different do. Do, let's do the key prep first. Do, me, so, me, do, ti, do. Do, me, so, me, re, fa, le, so, re, ti, so, do. Okay, so now let's look at the next one. You see 2 flats, so you expect to have a B flat. So B flat is over here, right? It's pretty high. But then it goes 1, 2, 3 low. So this is a G minor. You see the F sharp, so it's even confirming the G minor. Okay, so I'm going to bring it octave down in place. Okay, and so let's say the syllable G, B flat, D. G, B flat, D. That is a G minor chord. You're in G minor and you have a G minor chord, so that's a small 1. Now this one, C, E flat, G. C, E flat, G. G, A, B, C. So your root is G, A, B, C, fourth above. So it's a small 4. This one is D, F sharp, A. Your root is a G, G, A, B, C, D, the fifth note. So you write a big 5. Okay, so again, oh, didn't I say that it goes to 1, 1, 4, 5, 1? That's the very basic. So this is one of those basic progression. Here you had 1, 2, 5, 1. That's also basic progression too. Anything has a 5, 1 authenticated. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, and you look at the rhythm. Oh, I have a syncopation. Okay, so maybe I want to tackle that first. So you practice that. Ta 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 ta. You want to get that rhythm done, and then you're going to slowly read the syllable. So you think do me so. I get the do me so. That's a tonic triad, so I know how to do it. Do me so for the fa. For the fa, do me so me fa. Getting the fa is important. Fa and getting the so is important. One. So have that structure. Let's do the key prep first. Do me so me do ti do. I'm gonna add the fa so do because I need the fa, right? Fa so do. Do me so me fa le do le so ti re ti do. Good. Okay, so that was that. Okay, so now let's think more about the triads and so for triads, they always be, if I have a triad, what if I play? These are called inversion. So we're going to talk about inversions now. And open up your notebook because there's going to be some writing here. Okay, let's go back to a major triad. When you have the triad that looks like third, that is called root position because your root is in the bottom. Your root is in the bottom. Okay, can you all write down root position? Root is in the bottom. Write that, okay? But sometimes root can go up like this. So if you have a, but this chord, it's inverted because now root goes up and then your third becomes the bottom. Okay, that is called first inversion because you inverted once. So third became the bottom. Here, important thing is what's in the bottom. Okay, so first, can you write down first inversion? Third is in the bottom because this is called third. This middle note is called third. First inversion is third in the bottom. So second inversion is fifth in the bottom. Here, root, third, fifth. You have to know the correct word. This is called root, third, fifth. Third is in the bottom, first inversion. Fifth is in the bottom. That's the second inversion. So in your notebook, you should write root position, root in the bottom, first inversion, third in the bottom, second inversion, fifth in the bottom. Okay, so now I want you to do yourself, make a F chord, F major chord, write it in root position, first inversion, second inversion. Do it on your own. Okay, do it on your paper. And I'm going to do it here. You might want to stop if you want to need more time and want to check later. Okay, so I'll do it here. So this is my root position, F, F, A, C. Building a major scale, I'm going to consider F as a F major, and A and C doesn't have any accidentals, so FAC is a major triad. First inversion is my third, which is the A is in the bottom, AC, and the root goes anywhere in the up, okay? Second inversion is I'm going to put my fifth, which is the C in the bottom, and put other notes in the top like this. So if you drew this, that was correct, right? Root position, first inversion, second inversion, okay? Now, since we're using the Roman numeral, we'll also have some kind of numbers to represent the first inversion and second inversion. And those numbers originally come from the very beginning, the root position. If you think about it, the root to the top note is a 5. Root to the third note is a 3. So root position, another representation is C at 1, 5, 3. It's a 5, 3 is root position. But we take it for granted, so we don't write it. If we just write C, that's a root position. If we just write 1, that's a root position, okay? Now, but starting from the first inversion, you do want to write that number. And guess what that number is? That's right. Now, since E to C, E to the root is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, inverted as a 6. So it's same. 3 inverts as a 6. You know that, right? Okay. And so you still have the 3 here, but it is 6, 3. So first inversion has 6, 3. And you are actually supposed to stack it like this. Yeah, C6, 3. Okay. Second inversion, remember, we had the 5 interval inversion of the 5 is a 4. So now we have a 4, right? So you have a 6 to the top and then 4, so it's called 6, 4. Second inversion is 6, 4 because you have 6 interval and a 4th interval. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, so second inversion is 6, 4. So can you write that here for your F? Can you write, this is a F 5, 3, but you don't have to write that because you take it for granted. And this is your F 6, 3. And this is your F second inversion. So it is a F 6. You have a 6, C to A 6. And then you have a 4, 6, 4. It should align. I'm sorry about that. Those numbers tell you. Now, let's look at the Roman numeral analysis. Oftentimes, you'll see this 4-part, either in piano score or in chorale score. That means vertically, you have to look at everything. I'm sorry, that's a lot of note. Okay, so starting from the bottom, it's a C, and then you have a E, C, G. If anytime you have a chord, you have a triad, you look at the very, very bottom note. That tells you what kind of inversion it is, because bass is the most important thing. So if you have C in the bass in this case, and if I do, it still has the root position function, because the root position has certain kind of very stability as far as the bass is the root. So this is all one chord. One chord. This is 1, okay? So no matter how the top looks like, you look at the bass, okay? So since this has C, E, G, and the bass is the C, it is 1 root position. So I didn't write anything, right? There was no number. Let's look at the second chord. You have F in the bottom, and the chord is built on F. F, A, C. You're in C major, so C, D, E, F. It's a 4, big 4. Next to G, C, D, E, F, G, the 5th note, and the chord is built on G, so it's a 5 chord. Okay, so these are all root position because that note in the bottom is how the root of the chord. But let's look at the fourth one. You have G, but the chord is G, C, E. So if you have a G in the bottom, but you have a chord of C chord, you have to think about what the root of the chord is. The identity. Because of the identity, if the bass is not the root of the chord, you have to see, go around to see how you can stack them in thirds. Is G my root? Oh, if it's G is the root, I had to be G, B, D. Is C my root? C, E, G? Oh, C, E, G, that is right. So C was my root, okay? So C major C is 1. So you write down 1 first. And then, if this is my 1 chord, but it is in a different inversion. Is it a 6-3 or 6-4? That's your question. And since it is the 5th that is in the bottom, it is a 6-4. So you write 1, 6, 4. Okay. So let's do the next one. Okay. So what I'm saying is, to just confirm this, try its an inversion. Okay. So these are all root position. These are all root position because the root, look at the bass note, the lowest note is the C. Okay, by the way, this is not related. This is not connected, so this is not related. We're just looking at this upper line. This is all first inversion because, see, E is in the bottom, but the chord is a C chord. Chord is a C chord, but the G is in the bottom, so that's the second inversion. Here, this is an A minor chord. A is in the bottom, and no matter how the upper notes are constructed, as far as the components are A, C, E, and the bottom is A, that's a root position. C is in the bottom, which is the third note, so it's a first inversion. E is in the bottom, this is an E note, and A, C, E, that's a fifth in the bottom, so that's a 6-4. Okay, so now because of that, this is how you write. Root position is called 5-3, but we take it for granted, so you don't have to write the number 5-3. First inversion is a 6-3 because it has the 6 and 3. And this is a very good example that your 3 can even go on the top. Even if I play the third note up there, it is actually what it means is what is in the bottom of the note? What are the components? The components are what C, E, G. So that's a C chord. What is in the bottom? It's the third note that is in the bottom. Then it's a 6-3 chord. Okay. So here, this is an E chord, but you have an E, G sharp, B. So you first have to think about what will be the root position. Oh, if these are to be stacked to third, it'll be E, G sharp, B. Then think about, oh, but it is not in the root position, so it is still E, but I have to give a different name. Is it a 6-3 or a 6-4? And since this is a G sharp in the bottom, it's a 6-3. Okay. Because 6-3 comes from G sharp to B, and somewhere up there, G sharp to E, and sometimes it can be many, many notes that. But as far as there's a G sharp in the bottom, it'll be called 6-3. So I want you to now build your own if I give you those numbers. So let's first do that. Let's say I give you 3 sharps, and this is a major. So in A major, please draw a triad of 1, and then 5, 6, 3, going back to 1. Draw that. If I ask you, you can pause there if you want to check your answer. So A major 1 is A, C sharp, E, right? That's easy. 5, you might want to draw first E, G sharp, B, because you're not used to it yet. A, B, C, D, E. So you build on E, G sharp, B. And then, oh, it's a 6-3. So my third becomes the bottom. Then change the G sharp, B, E like this and make a 5-6-3, going back to 1. Okay, so that's how you draw 5-6-3. Now let me give you another quiz, this time in B minor. Okay, when you have a minor, always draw the leading tone sharp that is not in the key signature. Okay, draw 1, 6, 4, 6, and then 5, 6. Draw that for me. Okay, and this is wrong from the beginning. And you can pause if you want to check your answer. So it is, so originally it is B, D, F, but since it's a first inversion, I'm going to bring that B lowest note above there. Okay, B, C, D, E. My fourth note is an E minor chord. So originally it'll be E, G, B chord. That'll be my 4. But since it's a first inversion, I'm going to erase the bottom note, bring it to, and move it to the top, invert it. Okay. Now my fifth note is B, C, D, E, F, F sharp. I have to build on F sharp, and then I have to put a leading tone sharp, which is the A sharp, and then C, which is a C sharp. Now, since it's a first inversion 6, by the way, 6 is same as 6-3. Okay, so I'm going to move this bottom note and bring it to the top. Okay. So these first inversion, which is a 6-3, is often named just 6. So like 1, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6. Those are the same because again, 3 is taken for granted. That's why the interval 3, you don't write it, you just write it 6. So in some books you'll say it's just 1, 6. And some books will say 6-3. They're both actually saying the same thing. Okay, so let's do one more. If I give you 2 flats, we did a lot of G minor. Let's do more. 4 flats. So this is a F minor. F minor, do the 1, 6, 4 this time. 6, 4, you do have to write both numbers. Okay, 1, 6, 4, 5, and then 6, 6, which is a 6-3. Okay, 6, 6 is same as a 6-3. Let's try this. Okay, and you can pause if you want to not know the answer immediately. Okay, so I am in F minor. So that is an F minor. So my 1 chord will be F, A, C will be my 1 chord, which is F, A flat C in this case. But it says, but I asked you to do a second inversion, which is a 6-4. So I'm going to erase my F and bring it to the top. I'm even going to erase my third and bring it to the top. So this will be my 1-6-4, second inversion. My 5 chord will be, oh, it's on the same note because it is C, E, G is my 5. But remember, in F minor, what is the leading tone? It's the E natural. So you put the E natural up. Okay, so that's my 5. And then what will be my 6th chord will be D flat, F, A flat, right? But since it's the first inversion, I'm going to erase the bottom note and putting it to the top. And that will look like this. Okay, and that's not a good harmonic progression, but that's what it is. Okay, so now this is how you write the first inversion, second inversion. Okay, so you first have to write down the original triad because you need to know the root, and then move the root up is first inversion, move the root and the third up, that is the second inversion. Okay, so now how is that used in music? How is that used in music? Let's look at this one, E minor. Okay, so E minor, you look at the bass. This is all played together, and you look at the bass. The bass is, if I'm in E minor, let's sing the bass in the solfege. Do, re, mi, fa. Oh, that's a very smooth bass. That is easy, okay? And let's look at the harmony. Does that mean I built the chord in 1 chord, 2 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord? No, that was not all these notes were root of the chord. This was the root of the chord, but this was actually 7 second as first inversion, so that F sharp became the third, is actually a third of a chord, right? This is actually 1 chord, but E, G, B, but E became O, so I had that bass line, and 4 is a root position. And now listen to the bass line, okay? And sing the bass line. Do, re, mi, fa. It's very smooth. So using these inversion is a musical choice to make a nice bass line, make a smooth bass line, and make it easier to sing. Now, if I didn't use this inversion, if I use everything in root position, it'll jump. Listen to this. Actually, in this case, it doesn't jump. E to A, here it'll jump, right? Okay. So it's musically, there are many other factors. Actually, another reason that you use a 7/6 is, please don't worry about it if you don't understand, is because 7 is a diminished chord. So you use it in the first inversion in classical music because it sounds better. Instead of doing that, it sounds so much smoother. So that is that reason, and making the bass line smooth. So it's a musical choice to use these inversions. So that's why the inversions is important. Now, if you still don't understand the inversion, I suggest you go back to what we did about this. Let's look at the key. And let's write down 1 in the original and then move it to make a 6/3 chord. So you do that to really be confirmed with your knowledge. Okay, so I'm going to give you the separate homework on the B course is to practice this drill, and you want to be it fast enough. Okay, so have a good Thanksgiving, and please email me if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye.